We feed the hungry. We provide scholarships for young people that are planning to go to college. We assist in the early education of those that are in our community so that they learn how to read by the time they enter the first grade. And so we are about trying to meet the needs of people. And a part of what the Gandhi Alliance is about is trying to ensure also that not only those here in this country, but abroad are about the business of getting their needs met. So as the Calvary Baptist Church has been invited to be the host for tonight, we'd like to extend a hearty welcome to all of you and tell you how delighted we are that you would come. Now, I don't usually allow the members of Calvary to sit so scattered all over the place. We usually move them toward the front, but this is not Calvary's program, so I'm going to leave you alone and let Deb be responsible for any kind of seating rearrangement that there is. But we're delighted to have you here. Welcome. And now let's begin. I'd like to introduce my longtime friend and fellow community advocate here in this community, Deb Sawyer. Deb?
Thanks to Pastor Davis. And okay, I'll give you an opportunity if you want to come closer. Does anybody want to shift seats a little bit and get in a little bit closer? A few people. Wonderful. Good. Thank you. We want to thank Pastor Davis and Calvary Baptist for hosting this. We're thrilled to be here. We've had other programs at Calvary Baptist, and it's always wonderful to come and be here and to feel a part of the congregation in the spirit of Calvary. Adopt a Future is what we're raising funds for tonight. And it's a project of the United Nations Association of the USA. The Gandhi Alliance is working with the United Nations Association of Utah, UNAU, in this effort to raise funds for Adopt a Future. So on behalf of the Gandhi Alliance for Peace, I thank Pastor Davis, the Calvary Baptist Church, and UNAU, because we're all in this together to help more children who are living in refugee camps have an education. Our funds are going to go to the refugee camp in Kenya, Kakuma, and it's been around quite a while. It's the refugee camp where the majority of the lost boys of the Sudan went to. So at one point it was accepting lots of unaccompanied minors that needed help. It has families, it has children. Globally, 91% of the world's elementary aged children attend school. But for refugee children, that percent is only 61%. And you can think of what a handicap it is to not have an education. So just imagine for a moment that you are a child forced by war to leave your home, your family, your friends, your school, probably most of your members of your extended family, probably some of your family is with you. And my guess is that what this child wants more than anything is just for life to be back normal again, whatever normal was, especially if the child remembers life before war. We can't fix everything, but we can help. We can help these children have an education. Again, I want to thank you. And then I want to introduce our first group. And I want to just mention there's a little bit of information about them. But what stood out for me as I looked at the website were two things. Mr. Woodward started this choir 40 years ago. So his life has certainly included dedication to the children of this valley. And we thank him for what he's contributed to the children and to the whole cultural excitement of living in Salt Lake Valley. The children sing, of course, not just in Salt Lake Valley, but they've traveled lots of places, and it's wonderful. But the thing that stood out for me in the website when I looked at everything that they had was that while some of the children go on and become professional musicians, most don't, but most continue to sing. So what Mr. Woodward has given these children is an incredible support as we all deal with life's struggles that we never would have thought would have to deal with. To have music and to have singing will help them throughout their whole lives. I'm now thrilled to turn the time over to the Salt Lake City Children's Choir.
home in that kingdom, in that good news, that good news. Got a home in that kingdom, in that good news, that good news. I'm gonna lay down this world and shoulder my cross. Gonna take it home to my Jesus in that good, good news. I'm gonna rope up into that kingdom, in that good news. Gonna rope into that kingdom, in that good news. I'm gonna lay down this world, gonna shoulder up my cross, gonna take it home to my Jesus in that good news. Lift it up, there, lift it up, home up into that kingdom, into that good news. That's good news. Home up into that kingdom, into that good news. That's good news. Gonna lay down this world, gonna shoulder up my cross. Gonna take it home to my Jesus, to my Jesus, to my Jesus Christ. Walked with no one and talked with no one, and I had nothing but shadows. Then one morning you passed, and I brightened at last. Now I breathe that day and complete the day with the sun in my heart. All my worries blew away when you taught me how to say, grab your coat and get your hat, leave worry on your doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear a winter breeze around the mysterious doorstep? Life is so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. This road cross over if I never had a soul. Maybe riches don't compare. Dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade, but I'm not afraid. This road cross over if I never had a just won't compare. Gold dust at my feet, on the sunny side of the street. Lord is my shepherd, no one shall I know. My home maketh in the meadow, where the still waters flow. He leadeth on Lord's He lighteth my way in the blessed path of the righteous. He is ever my strength. Though I journey through the shadow and darkness would assail me, yet no evil will I fear, for thy rod and staff are ever near. Thou preparest a table before me in spread. Thou art surrounded by mine enemies. Thou anointest my
So on the next piece, I think it's indicated in your programs, we'd love to have you sing with us on the repeat of the beat. So we'll sing it through once, and then we'll invite you to join us.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant
Please join us in saying thank you to the Salt Lake Children's Choir for those numbers that they rendered, and we appreciate their beautiful involvement of not only themselves, but each of you in the audience. So thank you to the Salt Lake Children's Choir and Raph Woodard, their director, with their accompanying musicians, and we thank the Salt Lake Children's Choir. All right, Calvary's Choir is going to take the stand, and as they do, let me take a moment and remind you that this is one of 6 choirs that sing here at our church, and this is just a portion of one of those choirs. This one's called the Inspirational Choir. They sing every first and fourth Sunday in the month. And whenever they are singing on those 2 Sundays, if I go someplace to share in the afternoon, they accompany me there as well. So thank you to the Calvary Inspirational Choir. Our coordinator of music is Laura Edie Popwell. Laura is not able to be here tonight. And so one of our former musicians, Elizabeth Adoria Apgood, is playing the piano, and she will be providing the accompaniment for the Calvary choirs tonight. We'd like to dedicate Deb and all of you these selections that our choir will sing to the memory of our beloved brother, Dr. Boyer Jarvis and his family. As you know, Boyer's service will be tomorrow morning, and we want to dedicate these songs. We've come this far by faith, and God will supply your every need. The Calvary Inspirational Choir.
Test. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you. We are a call responsive congregation. So if I say good evening to you, you say good evening to me. So we are spirit filled. So if you feel like clapping your hands, please clap your hands. If you feel it like standing up, please do so. If you just want to wave your hand, you can do that as well. So we're here to come with 2 selections. We've come this far by faith, and our second selection will be God Will Supply.
In addition to singing accompanied music, we also sing a group of songs called the Negro Spirituals. Harriet Tubman led the Underground Railroad, and whenever Harriet Tubman was coming to town, there would be the sound of the whistle of the train, and Harriet would lead a little song called steal away, steal away, steal away to Jesus, steal away, steal away home. I ain't got long to stay here. Now that was when Harriet was coming to town. But when she got ready to leave, they'd sing another little spiritual song that's called Responsive. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me. The call of that song says, swing low, sweet chariot. That's the call of the song. The response was, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for. If you were to attend the Robertson Grove Baptist Church in Burke County, Georgia today, you'd hear that kind of singing. They don't use a hymn book. They have a piano that sits over in the corner, but it's only played once a year. But they'd sing and everybody got involved in singing. You could hear them way down the road as you were on your way, coming and singing those songs because they were called responsive songs. The caller would say something and then everybody else would respond. Thank you. The Calvary Inspirational Choir. Deb?
Thank you. This is wonderful. Kathy's going to introduce the next group. I want to remind everybody we have a silent auction with some free items, some very inexpensive items, and we have refreshments. So please stay. And here's Kathy to introduce.
Well, the third act, we've had a variety of music, and now we're going to have a third wonderful entertainer, Kate McLeod. I'm sure many of you know who she is. She's been around for a long time. She certainly is a Renaissance woman of music. She sings, she plays, and she composes, and she teaches. So it's a real treat for us to have her come here, and I will let her begin. Thank you.
Thank you for that nice introduction. Check the tuning on the bar. So my name's Kate, as was said, and I have a couple of friends with me here tonight. We've got Bob Smith, who's over here. You can see him behind the flowers. He's playing an old Irish drum. It's called a boran. Hold it up so they can see it. This is a very ancient kind of hand drum from Ireland. And then Mark over here is going to sing and play guitar with me. And we're going to start out with a little violin music. This is called Apology to the Native Rock. Nice, thank you. Now they can see Bob. All right, this next song I really would like you to join me on. This is a derivative song of an old spiritual. Originally, it was called "Open the Window, Noah," and this version is called "Let the Dove Come In." And so there's a part for you in this, and I'll show you what it is. So I'm going to sing. Let me get my key. The little bird flew to the window and mourned. Open the window, let the dove come in. That's your part. And then I'll sing. Little bird flew to the window and mourned. Open the window, let the dove come in. Oh, the little bird mourning for all of the people. Open the window and open the window, let the dove come in. Open the window, let the dove come in. All right, that's all there is to it. So let's start it out with my fiddle here. Got it, Bob? Oh my gosh.
coming. Oh, the little bird brought back the other. Open the window, let the dove come in. Oh, the little bird is flying along. People, open the window. Open the window, let the dove come in. Open the window, let the dove come in. And the little bird brought us a sad piece. Open the window, let the dove come in. Oh, the little bird brought us a soft piece. Open the window, let the dove come in. Oh, the little bird, peace on all the people. Open the window, open the window, let the dove come in. Open the window, let the dove come in. Open the window, let the dove come in.
Thank you for joining me on that. Yeah. Hire the choir. I'll have to have a choir with me next time I do that. Oh, goodness. I'm always really happy to play at these kinds of events anytime. I'm up for it. So let's do. Last year I was on an artist in resident program with the Quakers near Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm a Quaker, and so I was there for 3 months writing music, inspirational and peace motivating music. And I wrote this song based on small sayings that we use in activist activities. And I started out with Sojourner Truth's "Ain't I a Woman" sentence. And I go on from there. So you'll recognize some of these phrases in here, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, because I don't perform all this stuff a lot. So anyway, here we go. Ain't I a woman? Ain't it the truth? Ain't I a woman? Ain't I a man? Ain't I a woman? I'm gonna speak Guitar player shaking his head. Yeah, I'm a little out. So, I'm really excited because I've never really been in this church. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. I actually grew up near Washington, D.C., and I moved out here a long time ago. I studied to make violins at that violin making school downtown. And I actually don't make them anymore because I couldn't stop playing music long enough to sit down at the bench and make violins. Okay, got it? This is called Love in Motion. There was to explain. There was no photograph to show. But when my heart moved, there was a change. I don't know what it is. So I want to tell you a little bit about this drum he's got here. Can you show him how that works? He's got what you call a tipper.
Tipper,
That's called a tipper.
got two ends, you use them both.
And then on inside is his hand does interesting things with the skin of the drum. So it has a lot of voicings to it. It's pretty interesting. There you go. Should we play a jig?
That was just it.
So we're going to do a little sing-along for you. And then hopefully you all know this. I grew up on this song, so.
You who are on the road must have a hope that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the price is just a goodbye. Teach your children well. You father, they slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams. The one is the one you'll know. Don't you ever ask them about if you told you were right. Just look at them and attending you must know the years that your elders grew by, and so please help them with your youth. They see the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well, their parents well.
uncommon two little things.
Show off, Bob.
I'll play one by myself and Bob. Since I got all excited about showing y'all how this drum works, we're going to show you what we use it for in Ireland. So I'm going to play like traditional Irish dance music on my fiddle. And this will be our closing number. So, and I wish I could dance at the same time, but I'd probably trip over things and fall off the stage.
You have to lift your hands up.
So let me see if I can do I'll know when we go into Fox. First, I started. We just decided to do this, so we're like having a little fun. All right, here we go. And thank you all very much for being here tonight. All right, thank you very much. The wild violin.
I want to thank all of the musicians. This has been a wonderful evening. I want to thank all of you for coming. And I want to let you know that whatever you donate will be matched and then matched again. So if you donate $5, that becomes $10, then it becomes $20. It's matched first by a local foundation, and then it's matched by Educate a Child, which is a foundation out of Qatar, an international foundation. So please give as generously as you can, and please come to refreshments and the silent auction, and check out that silent auction and help us move things out of this church as soon as possible. So, and again, thank you to Calvary Baptist and to all of the musicians and to all of you for coming. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.
To get to the silent auction, if you go out these doors, and then as soon as you get out, turn to the right, and there'll be another set of doors that'll be open. And there you'll find the silent auction and the refreshments. Have a good night.